Ladies and gentlemen, our guest speaker for today is no other person than the esteemed and distinguished Dr. Donald Peterson, special advisor, I am familiar with this man and know that he has consistently pioneered entrepreneurship within the Capital constituency and beyond. Very recently, we concluded a program of training on solar installation and CCTV installation. And that program was single-handedly sponsored by him in collaboration with the University of Peterson. Today, we are privileged to have him in our midst, and he's going to be dishing out his wealth of knowledge. Please, students, I implore you, if you know the kind of knowledge that this man has, you will post it on all your platform for your colleagues who all stand here. The first time I sat with him, I was literally bewildered. I have to tell them, I said, what do we do with this? But where is this man this kind of wisdom? He has 2 PhDs, and in fact, we got to immediately to read his biography, and I'm sure you will choose it. Also, he has in his entourage the members of the D. Peterson Foundation. Please, I may not be able to call your name one after the other, but may you please rise for recognition. Members of the make their way to this place. We also have in our base no other person than Tipakpara of our country. Ladies and gentlemen, may I respectfully invite Ifeoluwa Robert to come and read the citation of our dear guest speaker, Dr. Donald Peterson. Sir, please, may I respectfully request that you come to the podium and write while he reads the citation. Thank you.
A wonderful afternoon to everyone. All protocols duly observed. Yes, this is the citation for Dr. Donald Peterson, Elder. Dr. Donald Peterson is an eminent economist, accomplished entrepreneur, and internationally recognized development strategist whose distinguished career integrates rigorous academic achievement with innovative public policy and corporate leadership. A holder of multiple doctorate degrees, including in economics from the London School of Economics and Finance from Nasarawa State University, and advanced executive education from Harvard, Stanford, Wharton, MIT Sloan, Columbia, Kellogg, and the London Business School. Dr. Donald Peterson exemplifies the highest standards of scholarly attainment and professional excellence. In his current capacity as a special advisor on entrepreneurship development to the government of Delta State, Nigeria, Dr. Peterson has architected pioneering frameworks for entrepreneurship ecosystem design, catalyzing measurable economic growth, SME development, and youth employment across 25 local government areas. Parallel to his public service, he serves as the chairman of Triax Technologies Limited, a multinational fintech and insurtech enterprise with operations spanning 5 countries, where he has led digital transformation and financial inclusion initiatives with global resonance. His philanthropic vision, realized through the foundation, has directly impacted over 7,000 beneficiaries through scholarships, women's business stimulus grants, vocational training, and advanced technology education by contributing to sustainable human capital development and community empowerment. His scholarly contributions include peer-reviewed publications, policy papers, and collaborations, further underscoring his commitment to knowledge production and dissemination. For his exceptional to economic development, entrepreneurship, co-innovation, and social transformation, Dr. Donald Peterson has received international recognition, including awards from Germany, France, and Nigeria. An ordained elder and mentor to emerging leaders, he continues to embody a model of transformational leadership, intellectual rigor, and service to humanity. It is in recognition of these extraordinary achievements that not just me, but everybody here, we proudly honor Dr. Donald Peterson. So, ladies and gentlemen, mamas and papas, brothers and sisters, if your hands are not too busy, you need to put them to work as we honor Dr. Donald Peterson, the special advisor to the government, Delta State government on entrepreneurship development.
Gentlemen, Madam Vice Chancellor, the Dean of Faculty, ably represented here, the management team, my dear students, I bid you a very good afternoon. The great Unidel student, the great Unidel student. The way you answered great, that great is not great enough. You want me to call it again and you answer? The great Unidel student. Say it like you mean it. The great Unidel student. I stand before you this afternoon as a living testimony of what transformational thinking, objective and clear focus could do to a young man. I must start that the first jam I did in 1989, if I could recall well, was June 89. My course of choice was medicine, Uniben. My score then was 277. I got admission into Uniben on merit. I got into Uniben first semester. 3 weeks into that first semester, something happened. If you check back, 1989, I just became an adult then, officially. And being an adult, coming from a very strict Christian home, we're not allowed to do some certain things and not ventured to do some certain things. I was adventurous. So I decided to cross that line. And when I crossed that line, I got the big in my life. I was visited around 7 p.m. by some very young men whom I would like to call angel in disguise. They came with ill-conceived intention and brute force to say we are giving you 24 hours to leave Bender State then, because I crossed at or I crossed a line which they never expected me to cross. As a naive young boy, after I got beaten black and blue by those angels, you know why I call them angels. I've never fought in my life. That was the first time I got beaten in my life. So I had to pack my bag, back home, and the following day, I ran away from Bendel. That was Edo Delta then. I ran to Abuja. When I got to my cousin's house, they said, what happened? I said, I'm no longer interested in studying medicine. I don't like the sight of blood. I don't want to be a medical doctor. And everybody thought I was bewitched. But I alone knew the truth. I never told my father nor my mother the true story, if they regrettably. But the following year, 1990, I took JAMB again. The University of Abuja was still in its infancy stage. They didn't have medical science. The closest to science they have was social sciences. That was how I ended up reading or studying economics in University of Abuja. So my adventure into the social science, I guess, is or was divinely orchestrated. Orchestrated by four young men I call angels. But I see one of them now and we joke. He's a very prominent personality now. And he said, if not for me, you would have been in one clinic somewhere doing what is not right or offering drugs and prescriptions to people. But from you've gone very far. You have me to thank for that. That's why I call them angels. A big round of applause to those four angels. Anyway, so the topic of today. To start with something that might sound a bit odd. Coming from someone who runs a fintech and an insurtech company and advice on entrepreneurship. When I was your age, sitting in lecture not too different from this one, I genuinely believe that, yeah, well, so you know them now.
Bluetooth
You
disconnected.
know, people who are studying
Bluetooth
science,
connected.
we felt that we are the best. We are top, mentally. We felt if you are doing arts or so that you are not there. Yes, I felt the same way. You know what I mean? The kind of discipline people study when they are not quite sure what they want to do. The backup plan. I will figure it out later. Degree thing.
Bluetooth disconnected.
I was spectacularly wrong.
Bluetooth.
And I think of many of you, if yourself might be carrying same version of that doubt right now. I hope I'm correct. Maybe it's your uncle at the last family gathering asking what exactly your plan to do with sociology degree. Maybe it's a classmate from secondary school who is studying or who studied computer science, casually mentioning their internship salary. Maybe it's just a quiet voice late at night wondering if you made the right choice. I also went through this phase in life. I could remember 100 levels, 200 levels studying economics. I'm like, I hope I've not made a very big mistake. What am I doing in social sciences? And somehow I got encouraged. But let me tell you why that doubt, why understandable, misses something fundamental about how the world actually works. It is called the invisible architecture of the world. Here is what I've learned building businesses and working with government. Every single system that matters in human society, every institution that shapes our daily life is fundamentally a social construction. Do you believe that? Not in some abstract or theoretical way. It is very concrete. Take, for instance, insurance. Please stay with me here. Don't get bored. I know this might sound boring to you. But think about it for a moment. Insurance is essentially a collective agreement that we all contribute small amount to protect each other from catastrophe. It only works if people trust the system. Guess what? Trust is a social phenomenon, right or wrong. This entire industry, worth trillions globally, runs on, psychology, sociology, and anthropology. I recall something happened. When we launched Triact as Nigeria's first licensed insurtech company. Insurtech is insurance technology company. Our biggest challenge wasn't the technology.
We could build apps. We could process payment. What we couldn't initially crack was why Nigerians, especially young Nigerians, fundamentally didn't trust insurance companies. That's not an engineering problem. That is a what? It's a social science problem. We had to understand kinship network. Kinship, that's relationship, network, and how they create informal insurance system. We had to study behavioral economics to figure out why a trader in Onitsha takes decisions differently than someone in Lekki. We had to dive into political science to navigate regulatory framework that makes sense on paper but clash with how people actually behave. The technical solution was maybe 30% of the challenge. The social understanding was the other 70%. Now, let's face the real challenge here. What are we really thinking about when we talk about skills? I want to be direct about something. When employers say they want skills, what they often mean, what you think they mean, or maybe they do, but they are not actually articulating it well. Yes, data analysis matters. Yes, you should probably learn some basic statistics and maybe how to use Excel beyond just making tables. But here is what actually separates candidates when I'm looking at application or talking to government officials about who to bring into important projects. What I look for is someone who can read the room. And my question is, can you read the room? I mean this literally. When I walk into a meeting, let's say with traditional rulers in Delta State, I need to understand the power dynamics that aren't written down anywhere. Who speaks first matters. How decisions are actually made versus how they appear to be made matters. The ability to observe social patterns, to read between what people say and what they mean. That's anthropology and sociology in action. Let me tell you a story of what happened to our company when we did a pitch. Last year, we were pitching a traffic management solution to a state government. We had a very technical proposal, lots of data, sophisticated system. We had engineers who could explain every sensor, every algorithms, but the project almost died in the room because none of them understood that the permanent secretary was more concerned about how this affects existing contractors than about traffic flow efficiency. That's not cynicism, but it's just the reality. Politics, in the broad sense, is about interest and relationship. One of our staff who studies sociology just passed out about 2 years before she got the job. She doesn't know anything about traffic sensor, but she understood stakeholders analysis. She could map who had what to gain and lose. She could frame our solution in terms of that and address the actual concern in the room, not just the stated ones. So she whispered into my ears and told me that the standing ovation we got would not sell this, but that she studied the body language of the PS and that he is not on board yet. I should make further moves. And what I do, I listen and learn from everybody and from everywhere. I took her advice and I did that. And the peers eventually told me, yes, this is the real pitch. You got it. So just imagine if that lady who studied sociology wasn't there, we all would have missed it. I went with first-class engineers. I went with people who are programmers, first-class programmers, but we all missed it. Me, with the array of degrees and all that, I did not see it. But that young lady saw it because she read what? Sociology. A big round of applause for her. Now, another thing I look out for is, can you ask questions that matters? Just like as we're here now. As we're here, you are listening to this lecture. At the end of this lecture, you will be given room to ask questions. But can you actually ask the right questions? This sounds simple until you try to do it in real situations. I've sat through countless meetings where young, smart people ask very irrelevant questions. They are not stupid questions. They are not just the questions that unlock understanding. Social science training teaches you to question assumptions. When someone says, our culture doesn't accept that, what do they mean by culture? Which culture? What version and whose version of culture? I think about this constantly when we are designing products. Now, for the D. Peterson Foundation Entrepreneurship Program, we initially designed a curriculum that made perfect sense to us. Very logical, very structured, very Western in approach to business planning. Guess what? It flopped. How many of you can remember the Python program when, before the university translated into, it flopped. It wasn't a huge success. Why? Because we did not understand the body language and the needs of the people. It's not because the students weren't smart or motivated, but because we're asking them to think about entrepreneurship in ways that didn't connect to how business actually happens in their community. We had to bring in someone with background in cultural studies who asks, what if we're solving the wrong problem? What if formal business plans aren't actually how successful business starts here? That question changed everything. Now, our programs are built from how people actually learn and do business in Delta, not from textbooks written from Silicon Valley. And you can see the last solar installation and solar and CCTV installation. It was a huge success. When the idea was first muted by the committee, believe me, I was wondering, will this work? Solar, CCTV. This is a society of very young people. Who wants to relate with solar? Who wants to relate with CCTV? But I was wrong. The committee, by benefit of hindsight, were right. Because the first training we did, we graduated 128 youth from that program. A big round of applause for that committee. Now, there are a lot of things that are happening. And I would like to ask this question. Seated here are young people. How many of you truly believe that there is employment in Nigeria? How many of you? Please, if you believe, raise up your hand. Okay, how many of you believe that there is no employment in Nigeria? Okay. Either answer you give, you are very correct. If you say yes, there are employment in Nigeria, employment opportunity in Nigeria, you are correct. If you say there are no employment opportunity in Nigeria, you are equally correct. It depends on how you look at it, your perspective. The last speaker, the man who is here on tripod stand, representing the entrepreneurship department in the school, representing the D. Peterson Foundation Committee in the school, and of course, representing the Career Directorate in the school. Rightly said, he said education as the formal and informal side of it. So it depends on how you look at it. Is the cup half full or half empty? That answer is yours. Now, look at it this way. How many of you want to make money here? Some people didn't raise up their hands, so some people are not interested in making money. I'm very sure. Okay, maybe I didn't ask it well. How many of you want to be rich here? How many of you want to prosper here? Okay, you can now see, when I asked how many of you want to make money, some people didn't understand what I was saying. They are thinking about it. So when I say, how many of you want to be rich? Everybody raise up their hand. How many of you want to be prosperous? Raise up their hand. So you see, it's psychology. It depends on how you ask it, from the perspective, how they understand things. But now, how many of you, student here, is worth $10,000? Your own money, not your parents' money. How many of you? Anyone? $10,000 is what? 15 million naira. That you made yourself. Okay. How many of you have access to phone, Android phone or iOS? How many of you? Okay. You don't have a phone? You do have a phone. No, when I ask this question, please answer. Because it's a social experiment we're doing here. How many of you have access to phone? Okay. Virtually everybody has access to phone. Okay. And of course, how many of you chat on social media? You all chat on social media. That means you have data. That time you're using to chat on social media. Do you know that on that same social media you can actually make money? You know, right? Then the question, why are you not making money? Answer? You don't know how to. Okay. That answers and that buttresses what the Bible said. My people suffer for lack of knowledge. That knowledge you'll find in our next training and some other trainings that we are doing. I'll tell you something. But I'll give you a peep into it. Do you know that? From your phone now, go to YouTube. I want some people to search Christmas song. I want some people to search children cartoon. Please search just from your YouTube. If you don't have a network, you know, sometimes when we are talking, some people like to joke with their life and their career. You know, the Bible said, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh, right? It just shows the construct of your mind. That for something this serious that has to do with your future, you love to joke about it. And that's how you continue joking until the train passes you by. I was your age some many years ago, and I knew the effort I put into being serious about things to get to where I am today. Please, young lads, I enjoin you to be very serious. Now, who have searched any? Did you get any? Okay. Please, read the view on any one of those Christmas songs. How many views do you have there? Let me help you. There are some of those Christmas songs that are probably, they run in millions. Can you see anyone in millions? How many millions, please? 210 million views. 112 million views. In how many months or how many years? Now, 120 million views have actually earned that person over $300,000. Yes. And guess what? That might not be the only Christmas song they uploaded. And let me shock you further. That Christmas song is probably AI generated. It's not real. It's something they did within 20 or 30 minutes and uploaded. And they are making money. They've made money. They are making money. They will continue making money on that. Because once it's October, November, we all start playing Christmas jingles. Right? Now, did anybody open children cartoon? What is the number you have there? 126 million views. 1.6 1.6 billion. Now, that person has earned over $3 million from social media. I'm very sure that kid's cartoon is AI generated. And that is not the only channel that person has. And I ask you, what is stopping you from having the same channel? You have a phone, you have data. Apart from data, you have a program in Unidel called Techpreneurship. How many of you are conversant with the program, the Techpreneurship program? Are you aware? You are not aware? Okay, I'm surprised, but there's a program running in Unidel, we sponsored that program, the Peterson Foundation, and it's been running for almost a year now in Unidel, where we teach so many models in IT, including AI. We teach about 7 models. Each of these models, if you are to learn it outside, you pay minimum of 500,000. So the 7 models will cost you about 3.5 million naira outside. But it's been given to you for free by the university. If you have learned that, you would have known how to prime the AI machine to be able to do the same thing that you are watching presently. Those things are not done by ghosts, they are done by humans. And you would have been in a position to be earning money because to open your channel on YouTube is free. The knowledge is now free. You have a phone to prompt AI on exactly what you want and upload. You have data that one using chatting would have been enough to upload that video and you would have been earning money. Apart from that, are we conversant with affiliate marketing? Is anybody doing it? You need training on affiliate marketing. And our program has affiliate marketing as one of the models. If you are doing affiliate marketing, anybody from around the world can buy from your store. You did not use money to buy those things and put it there. It is what AI and IT has brought together for you for free. But if you think constructively, you would have been able to be in that position where you make money by the minute. A few days ago, I was seated with my special assistant and I gave him my phone. I was showing him something on my phone, how money was being made. At a point in time, he was shouting, he said, "No, let me take the phone from you a bit so that maybe you are the one touching it and increasing the money." So he took it. After about 5 minutes, he checked, the figure has gone up. After about 20 minutes, he checked, the figure has gone up. He left the seat and he said, I need to sit very close to you. I want to learn this one. Then my second essay, I saw doubt on his face. I said, "Come, follow me. Let's go to Asaba together." So in the car, we sat at the back and I kept showing him. At the point I told, "Look at it." At the point in time, he exclaimed, he said, "But how will I know this thing?" And I said, "It's just hidden in plain sight." So the path to success is just there. It's hidden in plain sight. Knowledge will seek it out. But what will help you is seriousness. When you are not serious, when you are not focused, you cannot find it. Have you not heard when he said, when you want to hide something from a black man, you hide it where? In the book. That book they meant is knowledge. You put it somewhere you have to go and seek out. Now, let's do this. The career you don't see coming. Right now, you probably will be wondering, When the representative of the VC was talking, he said, you know, when you read medicine, they call you a doctor. You study engineering, they call you an engineer. But when you read social sciences, what would they call you? You read business admin, what would they call you? And now, I would like to answer that, giving vivid example. Who in this room does not know Alhaji Aliko Dangote? You don't know him, or you've never heard his name? Has anybody ever heard his name? Have you ever wondered what he studied? Have you ever wondered? The richest man in Africa. Google it now. He studied business administration from a university in Egypt. Business administration, the last time I checked, is in which department? Is in which faculty? What? Thank you. Now, do you know the second richest man in Nigeria? You know the second richest man in Nigeria? Presently is Abdul Samad Rabiu. Do you know what he studied? Economics. Economics is in which faculty? Thank you. How many of you have heard of Otumba Mike Adenuga? If you've not heard of him, you know Glow, right? Do you know what he studied? Business administration. Business administration is in which faculty? Thank you. Now, these three people I call control more than 20% of the economy of Nigeria combined. And they are from the Faculty of Social Sciences. In that, under them, they have engineers working for them, right? They even have private doctors attending to them, right? They have computer scientists, they have engineers and all that working for them. But they are from social sciences. Why am I bringing this up? I want you to be very proud of your faculty and your course. I tell you, like what happened to me, I would have been a medical doctor, but today, I'm proud that I have a degree in economics. And guess what? When they were reading my citation, I didn't hear some of the degrees that I have. I have a first degree, which is in business administration. You know? Why? Because my father, I was fortunate to have a father who didn't go to school, who said I have to go to school for myself and for him, being the first son that rested on my shoulder. And he was ready to sell anything to ensure that I go to school. And I took advantage of it very well. And I went to that school. And today, I could say I'm a proud economist, a business administrator, a financial expert. That is what I am. Now, let me tell you about career that didn't exist when I was your age, or that I didn't know existed. Have you heard of the user experience research? Have you heard of that? Okay, it's now a career. Entire company now employ people whose job is to understand how humans interact with technology. In applied psychology and anthropology, they make very good money now. Then there is what they call policy design, the policy designers. Government everywhere are finally realizing that policies fail not because they are poorly written, but because they don't count for human behavior. So you have behavioral economists and psychologists are being brought into everything to design, from tax collection system to public health campaign. You have corporate anthropologists. Have you heard that? Major companies hire anthropologists to help them understand markets, design products, navigate cultural differences. When Track looked at expanding our insurance product, we had people who could help us understand how different communities think about risk, family obligation, and future planning. Community development specialist, that's another kind of job. Every infrastructure project, every government program, every corporate social responsibility initiative needs people who understand community dynamics. When we're planning the student welfare insurance program, it wasn't enough to design good coverage. We needed to understand student life, student economy, what risks students actually face versus what we assume. Data science with social science training. Here is a secret. A lot of people can run statistical model. What's rare is people who can figure out what question to ask of that data, who can interpret results in context, who can spot when your data is telling you something about measurement rather than reality. But maybe the more important point is this. Social science skills makes you better at almost any career. Let me prove it to you. Who is the richest man in the world? Who is the richest man in the world? Do you know what he studied? You should know some of these things. That is why they say education is formal and informal. Some of this information are there for you to learn and develop a pattern in your life. Let me tell you. Elon Musk studied physics, but he did not end in physics, he added economics to it. So he had two majors. You know, in university abroad, students, you can come into university and study 2 degrees at the same time. You know. So he came in, same time he studied physics and economics. Little wonder he's applying the technical knowledge he has learned from physics with the business knowledge he has learned from economics. Okay? That's why he's succeeding. You might ask how. Let me give you a practical example. Have you seen a CEO who said, I don't want to be paid salary? It sounds crazy, right? He said, I don't want to be paid salary, but I want stock option. Stock option is a creation of social science. All right? Now, with the physics degree, he knew that he would do things or he could do things that have never been done before. So it's technically very sound. But the social construct is this. He needed to take advantage of that his technical skills. If he's asking for salary, they might pay him $1 million, $2 million, $3 million. You know what he did? I don't want salary. But when I take the company from point A to point B, I want stock options. And he said, who will not agree to that? Don't you like free things? Someone said wants to come and work for you. That you only get paid or you only get something when he has produced more things, right? He said, no problem. So they agreed to that. But they didn't know that they had fallen into a well thought out design plan by a social scientist. Inside him is a scientist who read physics, and inside him is a social scientist. Now, what he did is, when he took Tesla from point A to point B, he got so much stock options. Now, what did he do? You know that when you get paid your salary, there's a tax to it, right? You get paid, you have to pay payee, right? As rich as he is, he's not paying payee. How? He's not taking salary. Look at what he did. Let's say he has this hypothetical figure. He has 1 million shares now. Now, stock option, he said he wants 10 million shares. You give him 10 million shares, then he has how many? 11 million shares. From that 11 million shares, he goes to bank and tell bank, borrow me based on this 5 million shares. Borrow me this $3 million. The bank will borrow him $3 million. You know that the interest rate is quite low, 3% per annum. They borrow him $3 million. Because it's a loan, he's not expected to pay tax, right? In case it's $3 million, he spends from it. Why he's spending from it? He ensured that he's taking Tesla stock up. That stock option they gave him was when Tesla was, say, $22, per share, right? Now, by the following year, when that loan is due, Tesla would have gone to $44. Please, did he still borrow that money? He didn't borrow that money, right? All he needed to do was sell half of that, half of the 5 million shares, and pay them the $3 million. Now, guess what? He has used money he did not pay tax on. Did he pay tax? You can't pay tax on loan. Okay? He did not ask for salary, he asked for stock option. Because he asked for stock option, he got more stocks. Can you see what your experience as a social scientist will help you think? You see, what social science teaches us is to question all assumptions. Okay? The assumption that when you get paid salary, you will be rich. You question it and come up with something spectacular. That's what Elon Musk did. And that's what you should be learning, how to question those assumptions that are around today. Now, we talked about, here is a secret. Lots of people can run statistical model. The what's rare is people who can figure out what questions to ask the data and who can interpret results in context, who can spot when your data is telling you something about measurement rather than reality. But maybe the more important point is this. Social science skills make you better at almost every career. I know a doctor trained as a medical professional who struggles because they cannot communicate with patients effectively. That's, he needs applied psychology and communication studies. I know brilliant engineers whose projects fail because they cannot manage team or navigate organizational politics. That's sociology and organizational behavior. I know entrepreneurs with great products who can't scale because they don't understand market dynamics or consumer behavior. The skills that actually matters and how to build them. Now, this is how do you build these skills. We've been talking about skills that matter and how to build them. This is where, if I were you, I'll bring out a pen and a paper and take notes. Or, this is the age of IT. I will go to the coordinator and ask that I'll be given a soft copy of the lecture. Which one do you prefer? I didn't hear you. I know that's what the option you would take. Now, let's get practical. What should you actually be doing with your time here in Unidel? Let me tell you those things you're supposed to be doing with your time. First, learn to write clearly. I cannot emphasize this enough. Most professional communication is still written. Email, proposal, report, memo. The ability to take complex ideas and express them clearly is probably the single most valuable skills you can develop. I don't mean academic writing, though that has its place. I mean the ability to write a 2-page memo that a busy government official can read and understand. The ability to write an email that gets a response. The ability to structure an argument that persuades. This is harder than it sounds. I review proposal weekly, where very smart people bury their main points in the middle page, where they use jargon when simple language could have worked better, where they haven't thought through about their audience. Here is a practice that helped me. For every major paper you write, try also writing a page summary for someone in a different field. If you can't explain your research to your cousin who studied accounting, you probably don't understand it as well as you think. Second, develop genuine curiosity about how things actually work. You need to actually develop genuine curiosity. When we talked about you making money from social media, don't let that just start and die here. Develop genuine curiosity about it. think deep about it. Now ask, why would they pay me? From where would they pay me? Is it worth my time? And maybe that will help you. The best social scientists I know are those ones who are genuinely curious about everyday life. They notice things and they ask why. Why do people stand on certain side of the bus? Why do some markets thrive while others decline? Why do some government programs work while others fail despite similar resources? Why do people say they value one thing but behave as if they value another? This isn't something you run on for research projects and just turn off. When I'm stuck in Lagos traffic, which happens more often, I think about coordination problems. How do millions of people navigate space with minimal rules in Lagos? What informal system emerge? When do people break down? That's not just me being weird, right? My wife disagrees. She believes I'm weird. This is how social scientists thinking becomes intuitive. I'll tell you something. You know that this delivery system where you can call, order food online, and have it delivered in your home. You know how it started? It started from very busy people, from people wasting so much time in traffic, from people being immersed in their work. They don't have time. Then some people thought about it. Why don't we design an app where you can actually order food and get it delivered to you, and you pay for such service? Do you know that some people have made millions from delivery system in Nigeria? Do you know that? Now, as students, I like to put a poster before you. Unidel, from what I heard, is a community of over 17,000 people. I hope I'm correct. Now, these 17,000 persons, have you ever wondered, what if I design an app that can hail a doctor from your room? You have headache, you have fever, you are sick, and you want to talk to a trained medical practitioner like a doctor. You don't have time to run to the clinic, and you don't want to do self-medication. You know, self-medication kills now. Okay? Have you ever thought about that? And have students download your app? Imagine where you have 5,000 students download your app, and you're only charging students 1,000 naira a year. 5,000 times 1,000 is what? For using your app, that is 5 million every year first. Okay? Now for talking with that doctor, students pay minimal amount. Let's say to talk to a doctor, you are paying 1,000, 2,000 naira. You get a percentage of that. How many students do you think will talk to a doctor in a year? And once you create that app, you don't have to do anything on that app. The app is just there running and making money for you. How about that? Have you ever thought about that? Hello? Okay, I'm giving you some experts. There are so many things. If you need more, call on us. I can give you. We'll give you the knowledge, we'll give you the business angle and the connect for you to be able to do some of these things. So that from here we could build titans of industry. Then another thing you need to really be armed with is build genuine expertise in something specific. This is what I've been saying. This might seem to contradict the broad training of social sciences. But hear me out. The power of social science thinking is that it's applicable everywhere, but you still need to apply it somewhere. Maybe you become an expert in urban informal settlement. Maybe you focus on educational system. Maybe you delve deep into political transition, gender dynamics, economic development, or digital culture. Having an area where you really know the literature, where you understand the debate, where you can make original contribution, that's what makes you valuable. Generalists who knows a little about everything are less useful than people who think like social scientists but knows a lot about something specific. For me, that intersection becomes entrepreneurship and technology in emerging market. I can apply social science thinking to those domains in ways that create real value because I have bothered to really understand them. The fifth, practice translating between worlds. What do I mean by that? This may be the meta skill. Social scientists often need to translate between academic knowledge and practical application, between different stakeholder groups, between quantitative and qualitative understanding. When I'm talking to engineers about why our insurance app isn't being adopted, I need to translate our behavior pattern into things that can actually be designed around. When I'm talking to government officials about entrepreneurship policy, I need to translate research findings into actionable recommendations. When I'm talking to community members about development projects, I need to translate institutional logic into terms that connect with life or lived experience. None of this happens automatically. You build it by deliberately putting yourself in situations where translation is necessary. Join projects that cuts across disciplines. Take internship in sectors different from where you think you end up. Learn to communicate with people who doesn't share your vocabulary. Now, here comes the uncomfortable truth. Let me be honest about some things that are true, but not always said out aloud. Your degree alone won't be enough. Do you agree? Do you agree? I know you are paying tuition, attending lectures, writing papers. You should get something for that, right? Yeah, and you will. But the degree is necessary, but not sufficient. What will distinguish you is what you do beyond minimum requirement. The extra reading, the side project, the internship, the skills you build independently, and the network you develop. I see this with young people who come through our foundation program. The ones who succeed aren't always the ones with the greatest grade. They are the ones who treat their education as a foundation to build on, not a finish line to cross. You probably need to create opportunity rather than wait for them. The formal job market in Nigeria is, let's be realistic, challenging, right or wrong. There aren't enough traditional employment opportunities for everyone with good qualifications. But here is what I have observed. There is enormous demand for people who can actually solve problems. The mismatch is that the demand often isn't packaged as formal job with applications and interviews. Some of our most successful foundation alumni didn't get jobs. They created positions for themselves. They identified problems organizations were facing and proposed solutions. They started consulting practices. They built projects that demonstrated value and then got funding. This requires a different mindset. Instead of asking, who will hire me? You start asking, what problem can I solve and for whom? Your network will matter as much as your knowledge. I wish this weren't true. I really do. I wish pure meritocracy existed. But in the real world, opportunity often comes through relationship. This doesn't mean you should be fake or manipulative. It means you should genuinely invest in relationship with peers, professors, professionals in fields that you are interested in. Help people when you can. Stay in touch. Be someone people think of when opportunity arises. Most of the significant opportunities in my career came through people I knew who thought of me when something came up. That's not nepotism. If you are actually qualified and adding value, that's just how information flows in the real world. You will probably need to work harder than seems fair. This is especially true if you're entering cooperative fields or competitive fields or trying to distinguish yourself. The people who break through are usually the ones willing to do work others aren't willing to do. When we started trials, I probably worked twice as hard as I would have needed in a more established company. I had to do because we're building something new in a skeptical market. Was it fair that I had to prove myself more than someone at a foreign insurance company? No, but it was the reality. I'm not saying work yourself into burnout. I'm saying be realistic about what breakthrough achievement requires. Now, what society actually needs from you. Here is what I really want to leave you with. Nigeria is facing enormous challenges. Nigeria is facing enormous challenges. Delta is facing enormous challenges. There aren't primary technical challenges. There are social challenges. How do we build institutions people trust? How do we bridge ethnic and religious divide? How do we create economic systems that are both efficient and equitable? How do we help traditional governance structure adapt without losing what makes them valuable? How do we build cities that work for everyone? How do we design policies that account for how people actually behave? These are social science questions. And they desperately need what? Answers. Through the D. Peterson Foundation, we have worked with thousands of young people across Delta communities. Every single program we run is essentially applied social science, understanding, and community needs, designing intervention that fits local context, building systems that empowers rather than create dependency. None of this works without social science thinking. When I advise state government on entrepreneurship development, the core challenge ain't about economic textbook. They are about understanding why certain initiatives succeed in communities but fail in others. Why some young people thrive with minimal support, while others struggle despite significant investment. How to design programs that build on existing social capital rather than undermine it. You have been trained in exactly the kind of thinking we need. But, and this is crucial, only if you approach it seriously. The choice you are making. I want to close this. You are at a decision point right now. Whether you realize it or not, you can treat your social science education as something you endure to get a credential. You can do the minimum, pass your courses, get your degree, and hope something works out. Or you can treat it as a preparation for actual transforming society, which is literally what this lecture is titled. The second part is harder. It requires intellectual honesty. It requires reading beyond your assignment. It requires questioning your professor respectfully, please. When something doesn't make sense, it requires applying what you are learning to real situations. It requires building skills deliberately, not just accumulating credit. But here is what I have learned. The people who actually change things, who build institutions, who solve hard problems, who create opportunity for others, they almost always choose the hard path. Not because they are special or talented in ways others aren't, but because they decided their education matters. They decided their skills matter. They decided they are going to be excellent at what they do, whatever they turn out to be. I look at the challenge or challenges facing our state, our country, and our continent, and I see opportunity for social scientists everywhere. I see the need for people who understand human behavior, social system, cultural context. I see the need for people who can design better institutions, more effective policies, more inclusive organization. Whether you become one of those people depends on the choice you make starting right now. Not next semester, not after graduation, not when things get serious. Now. So here is my question for you. Are you ready? My question is, are you all in? Are you all in? You see, you just answer, we all in. Let me tell you. You will live your life. You won't live my life, neither will I live your life. I once told my daughter, who is 26 and about to round up her PhD program, I said, I am responsible for your bets. I'm not responsible for your life. The choices you make, you will live with. So the choices you make today, I say to you, are what you will live with. If you make the right choice by determining that you're going to question every assumption and you're going to work not just hard, but smarter, then I can tell you what happened to people who are running corporations today will happen to you. What happened to successful people will happen to you. What happened to people that have progressed, people that have built something from nothing will happen to you. But if you decide that you want to play with your life the way some young people are doing today, then unfortunately, and I pray this will not happen to you, you will work for your peers. Somebody from your course will employ you to work under him. If you say, I reject it, if you reject it, so you are in to better your life through working harder and acquiring knowledge of the time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Donald Peterson, the special advisor to the executive governor of Delta State on entrepreneurship development. Please, another round of applause for him for that powerful, insightful lecture. Sir, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Please sit down. So it's a privilege that you are seated to be impacted with knowledge from this high caliber government functionary. And so I want you to tell yourself congratulations that you have this opportunity. Can you tell yourself congratulations? Because what you have just heard is what people pay money to go and learn. People pay money. People displace themselves. They travel out of their comfort zones to learn. And my people have a proverb that it is what you do not pay attention to. That if your mates pay attention to those things, that is what makes your mate better than you. So whatsoever you have heard today, just in case you have been seated here and you have not been paying attention, please, I've just conferred with her, and it is possible to have materials of this lecture distributed afterwards. I'm interested because I want to read. What you are learning today is what can transform your life. There are many people who are in higher institutions who, when they graduate, they will not knock on any office door with application because they are already made. Genuinely, I'm talking of those who are making genuine money. I've seen people that when they graduated, they call them for a job and they ask, how much are you going to pay me for working in this oil company? And when they were told, they say, is that what you are going to pay me for a month? They said, so I make this money in a week. They are doing what others are not doing. Please do not commonize this opportunity. So once more, I'd like you to put your hands together for our able director and our big daddy from Asaba. Now, you can see that refreshment is being served. Are you seeing it? Are you seeing it? Now, this is a rare display of love for students. It's a rare display of love because usually when you are invited to come and give a talk like this, you are interested in what will you pay me for coming. But today we are privileged to have somebody who did not only come to teach, but like Jesus, he knew that in the process of the interaction, we may waste time and that people may go hungry. And so instead of waiting for somebody else to bring fish and bread, this Jesus came with his own fish and bread. And that is what we are circulating now. So, sir, I want to thank you immensely. And I want you to know that this will go down into our memory lane in this university. For your love for us, the love for your children, for our children, to have come to both impact us intellectually and to also take care of our stomach infrastructure. Thank you so much. On behalf of the Vice Chancellor, and with the backing of the over 17,000 students of this university, we say thank you, and may God richly bless you for this gesture in Jesus' name. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everybody.
Round of applause for our latest Deputy Vice Chancellor, Professor Patrick Ije. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much, my DVC, sir. We appreciate you. Please, seen as promised, to give the best graduating student from the Faculty of Social Science scholarship to MSc and PhD level. Now, as if that is not enough, he said from next session, every student graduating in the first class, right, will get a scholarship from him, MSc and PhD. Please, that's a lot, that's a lot. Thank you. Faculty of Social Science, you are so blessed to. They came here to give you scholarship. This is serious. Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. Thank you so much, sir. Let's take these few questions. Now, one of the questions is, sir, please, how can I start the AI and YouTube programming? And, sir, is it possible to do so? I think you should just throw light on that.
Develop genuine curiosity, so you are learning very fast. Yes, it's possible for you to learn it. How do you learn it? There are various ways. The cheapest way for you to learn it, in Unidel, in partnership with the D. Peterson Foundation, we have a scheme running called Techpreneurship. In that Techpreneurship, we teach AI. AI is one of the models there. You can seek out Ewe Rukunta and other members of the committee to know when you have lectures. It's free. You can come and learn. You won't pay anything. But as you are learning, also, I will enjoin you that you take time to also go on YouTube and learn AI, how to prompt AI. It's very easy. Prompting means the language you speak to AI for AI to respond to you. Let me give you an example. I have an AI app now, and I say, give me a 12-hour Christmas song showing major cities of the world, people making merry, and there's so much joy and happiness in the land. You say, go, you upload that. That's the prompt. Once you prompt that, AI will give you an AI video and 12-hour songs that you can upload. If you have that, to open a channel on YouTube is free. But to learn it is not free, but we are giving you opportunity to learn it for free. So when you learn that, you can have it and make your money. When you make your money, you keep your money. If you remember us with a bottle of water or wine, we won't reject it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir, please, the next question is, what type of business should we start as students? And how do we learn it? Do we have a website or link? And how much do we need to start the business?
Let me ask you, especially for the ladies here. When you cook, do you use bell pepper? Do you know what they call bell pepper? Do you use bell pepper to cook? Do you? What do you think is the demand of bell pepper in your community? The student community and in the community around? What do you think is the demand? On a scale of 1 to 10. Is interactive. 6. Thank you very much. If 6 is the demand of bell pepper, all you need to do in your hostel, behind your hostel, can you do what they call hydroponic farming system? Forget about the big grammar. It's just a word. The hydroponic farming system simply means this. Get bell pepper seed. Let it germinate. You can put it in a nursery or a soil. Let it germinate. Once it germinates, why I recommend hydroponic is so that the liquid manure is just drop inside the water, and you know that there won't be pests and there won't be other rodents coming to eat it. You can use this bottle for hydroponic. Open this place a little bit and let the plant, once it germinates, put it here and douse the water with the liquid manure or the liquid fertilizer. You can have so many of these waste, but like when we finish this water now, all this bottle goes to waste, right? Pack them. 100 bottles, 1,000 bottles just behind your hostel and plant your bell pepper. Each bell pepper plant takes about 16 weeks. Yes, 16 weeks for it to actually start fruiting. When it starts fruiting, each plant will give you, on the average, of about 20 pepper or 20 pods within 14 days. Now, you can have 20 times 1,000. 20 times 1,000 will give you 20,000. 20,000 bell pepper is sold in kg, right? Now, I believe in grams. For 500 grams, if I'm not mistaken, about 5,000 or 6,000 naira, right, madam? So, if you have 20,000 of that, let's say, for purpose of this discussion, that 20,000 of that translates to about, say, 10 kg. 10 kg convert to gram is about 10,000, is it 1,000 grams or so? 1,000 times 6,000 will give you what? That's about, if I'm not mistaken, about 6 million naira. If you have 6 million naira as a student, within the space of 5 to 6 months, I believe you have done well. Right or wrong? Right or wrong? That is just, see, I'm showing you how basic business you could start. But let's leave that. It's not everybody that wants to get their hands soiled, you know? You want to do business online. You can go into affiliate marketing. Forget that name, affiliate marketing. What it means simply is this, is that you go on Amazon, you look at most purchased or most sought after goods, that is, goods that have been sold like 50 million times. That's what you should go for. You take a picture of it. You go to Tyndall, open your account. Take that picture, put on Tyndall. You have, when you register on Tyndall, to give you your own affiliate account and all that, your details. You put it there. When you put it there, people from around the world are searching for such products. You don't even know where, whether from Greenland, from Finland, or from anywhere. Goes there and sees that product, they buy it. They pay to Tyndall. They don't pay to you. But you get a percentage of that because Tyndall relates that back to Amazon. Amazon pays Tinder a commission, Tinder pays you a commission. Imagine a product you put in there that has been sold 50 million times or 500 million times worldwide. That in 1 year, just about 100,000 persons bought that product for you. And for each buy, you get probably about say $1. $1 by 100,000 is what? $100,000. $100,000 converted to our local currency is 150 million naira. As a student, you make legally 150 million naira. Tell me you don't have a story to tell tomorrow. Thank you.
A round of applause for Dr. Donald Peterson. I'm sure that's all the questions we can take. May I respectfully invite the Director of the Career Service and Counseling Development Directorate to come and give a closing remark.
A very big thank you to the Almighty God for helping us in this 101 Career Conversation series that has taken us around the 12 faculties in the University of Delta. Indeed, God has been good to us. We also want to appreciate our newly elected Deputy Vice Chancellor for finding time to be here with us. We want to say a big thank you, sir, and we want to wish you well in your new office. We pray the Almighty God will give you wisdom and everything that is needed for you to discharge your duties effectively. May the good Lord be with you, and this will be the list of the positions you occupy in life in Jesus' name. As God surprised you yesterday, He will keep surprising you and keep taking you higher. We want to say congratulations and thank you. We also want to appreciate our guest speaker. I think this is the first time I'm seeing you on one-on-one. I've been seeing so much of your work through Ewere Okonta. I've been reading so much about you. And it's a great privilege today seeing you on one-on-one. Such a humble person, man. I want to say thank you. Like he compared you to Jesus. Jesus came to teach, he taught the people and he gave them food. He fed them. You have also exemplified that today. Thank you for teaching us, feeding our brain and feeding our body, and also still giving opportunity for more. I want to say a very big thank you. The Almighty God will keep blessing you and we keep lifting you higher. We also want to appreciate the VC rep on Owoyibo campus. We want to say thank you. 2 days ago, we tried pulling you to join us. You didn't, but today you tried. Thank you so much for coming. We want to also appreciate the Professor Agora. Thank you too for starting with us at the very beginning. We appreciate you. We also want to appreciate our employer representative, the only Ejime that that was a dean of a faculty, Associate Professor Agidi. Thank you so much for coming. We want to appreciate the Donald Foundation. We want to thank you for the support, for coming to support our dear brother and our speaker. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. I want to especially appreciate the CDCC team. Thank you so much. You guys rock. You guys are wonderful. I want to work with you again and again and again and again. Thank you so much. And to our dear students, I tell you, what you have been given for free today is what has cost some people so many years to realize. I want to trust that what you have been given today to enhance your early career decision will actually help you. I pray you will not eat with it. I pray you will trade with it. And like the example that Jesus gave us, somebody was given 5 talents, another person 3, another person 1. What you have been given today, some people will so much trade with it, and they will be able to. They will realize and they will profit so much. Some will not do anything with it. They will, in fact, leave it here in this hall. I pray for you that all that you have been taught, all the things that have been shared with you, that has been shared with you today, will make impact in your life. And finally, we want to appreciate our Vice Chancellor for giving us the opportunity to organize this program. I want to say thank you to everyone. We'll see you again in our next series. Thank you and God bless you.
Round of applause for our dear director. Yes, so let me put it in clear terms. Dear students, you see that cook and snack that you are taking was given to you by Dr. Donald Peterson. So that, yes, that's why they've been saying he came just the way Jesus used to come. He did not only teach you, but he gave you food, so that what you learned, you can understand it. So thank you very much, everyone. Let me thank the media team. Let me thank the technical team also. And let me thank myself for finding time.